Good day to you. Today also I bring the Lord's word and the Lord's vision. And the Lord's word is this, that we can change the harvest in the world. And the Lord gives us a seed bed, a seed plot, a seed pot, and the seed of our life. Our very life is God's seed, and our timeline, our lifeline, He gives us as His seed, and every season of life. So when we sow unto the Lord the wheat, which are sons of the light, Matthew 13 has the parable of wheat and tares. The battle of the ages is a battle between wheat and tares, battle between light and darkness. So the enemy sows the sons of darkness or the tares, and it is our business, our mandate in our lifeline, in our timeline, in our plot, as we pray, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on my plot of earth as it is in heaven. So we sow every hour, every day, every year, the Lord's seed, and that produces the Lord's harvest, which defeats the evil harvest that the enemy intends. But if we are not alert, or we are occupied otherwise with lesser priorities, then the enemy begins to invade the earth all around us with his evil harvest. Pandemics, diseases, hate. And these days we find that the tone of the people are getting more and more angry and distressed that nothing good is happening to them. So what happens is, when people increase their anger, Isaiah 8:21 says, they will pass through the land hard-pressed and famished. And it will turn out that when they are angry, hungry, they will be enraged and curse their king, that is their government, and their God as they face upward. Then they will look to the earth and behold distress and darkness, the gloom of anguish, and they will be driven away into darkness. Now we don't want this to happen, because when people are angry and dark, gloomy, forebodings occupy them, with sense of hopelessness, demons begin to occupy, and they begin to consult demonic powers. So Isaiah 8:19 says, consult the mediums and the spiritists who whisper and mutter. Should not a people consult their God? Should they consult the dead on behalf of the living? Unfortunately, this is what happens when people lose their hope and get bitter. They not only rebel, they rage against each other and rage against the government. They also begin to invoke dark powers. Into this, the Lord asks us to move and stop the breach. Breach is a place where people's own anger begins to pay dividends against them. And it's a place where demonic wrath gets engaged. So we have to stop this breach of people harvesting for themselves evil because they have lost any hope. So this is the time we raise up hands and pray to the Lord, and we keep sowing light, seeds of life, seeds of light, knowing that God overtakes the tares till harvest time is. Before that harvest time, if tares overrun the wheat, people lose everything. And the believer must not think we will be unaffected, because our plot is also in the midst of the rest of the nation. So it is part of our prayer governance and stewardship to keep dominion, so that the evil of the outside does not enter the inside. For this, of course, we have to keep dominion beyond our plot of earth and say, Lord, let your kingdom rule over everything that is around us. That's how we change the harvest for a nation. In it is tied up our own harvest. We have to be wise on this. While we sow godly seed, we stop the ravens of the air coming at will, and we stop the trampling down of good seed. This is part of our spiritual authority to establish the government of God and change the harvest. That's part of the part of the Lord's promise that we find in Isaiah chapter 9. You shall multiply the nation, you shall increase their gladness, they will be glad in your presence, as with gladness of harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. So we must have the gladness of harvest, a good harvest that has overcome the evil harvest that was trying to run over the nation. This authority God gives to us. This is our reasonable service. This is how we govern a nation, by sowing the seed God gives us and producing a harvest that will overcome the tares. God bless you and keep you.